Now let's try to understand how to solve problems with investment and where rate of interest is given to us. Question is, Anita has $200 less invested at 9% than she does at 6.5%. If the annual return from the two investments is the same, how much is invested at each rate? So let's consider this scenario and try to define our variables. So it's better to define a variable in terms of what is invested at 6.5%. So let us say that, let's say this is our investment at 6.5%. And let's say this investment is X dollars. And then we have another investment, and that investment is at 9%. So how much should that be? It says Anita has $200 less invested at 9% than she does at 6.5. So less $200. So this is X minus 200. That is the amount invested at 9%. So this is what is given to us. If annual return from the two investments is same, how much is invested at each rate? Now what is the return on investment? This is what we have to see. So what is the return? That means how much do we earn out of these investments? So let me teach you that part. We have a formula which says interest is the earning from the investment, and interest is equals to principal times rate times t. Since time is 1 year, annual return, right? So t is 1 for us. Principal is this amount, the amount which is being invested, and r is the rate. So to get the return on investment or interest, we need to multiply the amount invested, that is x times percent of rate times 1, right? So here the return will be amount invested is x, so you get x times rate is 6.5%. So x times 6.5% means divided by 100 times time, which is 1 year. So this is our return on the first investment. How about on 9%? Amount invested here is x minus 200. So we'll write x minus 200 amount invested on 9% times 9 over 100, 9% times 1 for t. So that is the earning, that is the interest on the amount. So this is giving us interest here, right? Now it says if annual return from the two investments is the same, that means these two things are same, how much is invested at each rate, correct? So we get our equation. Do you see that? So we get equation by equating these two things. So that's the way it is to be understood. So let's write down our equation and solve for x. So let's start. So the return on 6.5% is x times 6.5 divided by 100 is 0.06. 0.065. So that is this investment. And that should be equal to the return from the other investment, which is x minus 200, $200 less, time 9 over 100, which means 0.09. So that gives you the overall picture, correct? So now we can solve for it, and let's calculate. So what we can do is, we can divide both sides by 0.065. So if I divide by, so what I'm trying to do is x times 0.065, let's put that in bracket, divided by 0.065 is equal to x minus 200 times 0.09 divided by 0.065. Let's see what do we get. Here we'll get x, and here we get 0.09 divided by 0.065 equals to We'll change it to decimal numbers. It is 1.384. Okay, so I don't think that was a very wise step to do, because a fraction which really does not give us a whole number kind of thing. So what we will do is, we will not consider this step, right? And we'll go back to our original equation, multiply them, get the terms together, and then find the answer, right? I thought we might get a good number, but we didn't. So we will, for the time being, scrap this step. And we'll continue. We'll expand and then simplify. So when we expand it, we get here on the left side, we get 0.065x. And on the right side, we get 0.09x minus 200 times 0.9, which is 18, right? But let me do it with calculator. 200 times 0.09 equals to 18. It is recommended to use calculator for these calculations, right? Now I'll bring the terms together, 18 on this side. So get 18 equals to 0.09x minus 0.065x. So 0.09 minus 0.065 is equal to 1 over 40, 0.025. So we get 0.025x, which is 18. And from here we can find x. So x is equals to 18 divided by 0.025. So we'll divide 18 by 0.025. That gives us 720. So we get x as 720. So this is better, right? So we made an attempt. Well, it didn't really work since this was a decimal number, big decimal number, right? So we get our answer that the investment X at 6.5% is $720, correct? So we can write down our answer as it is $720 at 6.5%, and we have to take away 200 for 9%, right? So if you take away 200, then it becomes $520 at the rate of 9%. Is it okay? So that is how we can get our answer, right? Because investment on 9% is x minus 200. So that's how we can do these kinds of problems. And I hope by now you have understood this formula. Interest is principal times rate times time. And rate is in percent. 6.5 divided by 100, always convert to decimals and then use it. Then you should get the right answer. Okay? Thank you.